Hey folks, this is Pocket Moggers. Welcome back to the Weedle line this time. It is our next entry in the Generation 1 Moggoth, the mini Moggoth. And unfortunately for us and for this little guy, Weedle will not be the beloved mascot, well, pseudo mascot, if you will, of the bug types that Caterpie and its kin are. We have gone from bad to worse. Do you know the difference between the two bug Pokemon? What that little boy in Viridian forgot to tell us is that there isn't really too much of a difference there, outside of a pointy spike on Weedle's head and the move Poison Sting, along with a poison typing. Weedle doesn't really do much that Caterpie doesn't do. I mean, Poison Sting and inflicting poison is probably a trainer's first introduction to the concept of status ailments. All Pokemon can cast moves that have statuses that do things like chip away at your damage, or I mean your health, excuse me, or make it so your attack status cut in half, or so you can't move, or your speed is halved, things along those lines. And Weedle would have been the introduction to that for many of the original Pokemon game players. Bulbasaur people would not have had this problem as they were poison type and therefore could not get poisoned. But Charmander and Squirtle players would learn real quickly how bad that could end up getting. I wish I could say the same about Weedle itself, but I can't. It's just not very good for the same reasons Caterpie isn't very good. It's very strange. Like I say here, I don't get why Weedle was a yellow version exclusive. Seems very strange to me personally. I know Ash didn't catch one, but like Ash didn't catch most of the Pokemon in Gen 1. So why is Weedle being discriminated against like that? I just don't understand. An even worse Metapod. Who would have thought, you know? Kakuna, I mean, Poison Sting, and again, it's Poison Sting. Yeah, you know, it just doesn't mean anything. Great, you have Poison Sting, whereas Metapod has to use Tackle. There's your difference. If you're that big of a poison enthusiast, you know, like Aki in Street Fighter over there, then I guess Kakuna's the worthless cocoon bug Pokemon for you. But if you like looking at the thing that you have, you might want to go with Metapod instead. That mini game, by the way, I mentioned it before, but that mini game in Pokemon Stadium was pretty cool. I will give Kakuna that. Okay, so I am allergic to bee stings, and so even though I know bee drill is bad, just awful, um, it scares the bejesus out of me. A bee that is like 3 feet long and has arm stingers the size of T-Rex teeth is like the most horrifying thing in the world that could ever exist, as far as I'm concerned. Um, too bad my fears don't actually transfer over to the logic of the Pokemon world, because this guy would be a menace at that point. But it's just it doesn't. We'll learn a little more about that later on. Like I say in the slide here, it's a fun parallel to Butterfree, who's nice and pleasant. You get two cocoons. One gives you something cute. The other one gives you something creepy and strong. I give Beedrill a an 8 out of 10 in the design department. It certainly is exactly what you'd think it'd be. And I remember seeing one for the first time as a child and thinking, oh, this thing might be good. And I've heard from other people that they felt the same way. If you're a Game Grumps fan, then you know that Aaron Hansen has a particular affinity for these guys. And in the Pokemon anime, the trainer that Ethan is, or that is based on Ethan, a character named Jimmy, has a Beedrill too. So, I mean, there's been a little exposure for him. Like I said here, my Beedrill, I forgot to teach it moves, so my Beedrill knows Harden. So this display isn't really much of what Beedrill can do, but that's not that big of a deal, as we'll soon learn. Well, folks, another victim has been mogged by the mean. 395 base stat total is 12 less than that 407 average. And because of that, it cannot get higher than a 5 out of 10 on its stats. And that's if I want to give it a 5 out of 10. And in this case, along with the move pool, I do not. Beedrill just, I mean, it's a bug and poison type, and boy howdy, they don't want you to forget that. It learns a couple dark type moves. Pursuit was a fun idea until they got rid of it. It has a signature move called Twin Needle, which is a bug type move that in earlier games can poison steel types who are supposed to be immune to it, but the game just checks for poison type moves and then says if they're poisoned, they don't work. So being a bug type move that poisons, Twin Needle can surpass that check and poison steel type Pokemon. For whatever use that might give to you. It really doesn't give any use at all. So, and other than that, it just sucks. So there's really, 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 really nothing to write home about here. Beedrill's abilities aren't even worth mentioning because they don't help any. Swarm. Yeah, yeah. Sorry, guys, but if the abilities were even worth talking about, I would, but they're not. So I'm not going to. The truth is, Beedrill is just objectively terrible. So I have to give a Beedrill a 2 out of 10 here on the stats department. Okay, so impact. Not much, really, not much at all. Um, Beedrill's often used in the anime as a obstacle Pokemon, and what I mean by that, and sorry, I gotta be technical here, an obstacle Pokemon. My education beats me over the head with that stuff. And obstacle Pokemon. So basically, the protagonists have to go somewhere, and as they're on their way to wherever they're going, Beedrill is there. They knock over a nest, and Beedrill are there, or they take food, and it was Beedrill's food, or right, because everybody knows about running away from bees. When you tick them off, they chase you, so you got to run really fast so you can get away from them. So it's a good plot device there, and that pretty much serves all of Beedrill's anime history. However, in Pokemon Adventures, Giovanni, the leader of Team Rocket and the 8th gym leader of Kanto, uses a Beedrill as his ace. It's his favorite Pokemon. And like I said down here, it's the most and really the only aura Beedrill ever gets. I remember being surprised that the Pokemon Adventure writers wanted to glaze Beedrill like that, but they did, and it worked. Second verse, same as the first here. Everywhere Butterfree can be found in, and its evolutionary family can be found in these games. Beedrill can be found as well. There is no reason to pick Beedrill over any of the other Pokemon available in any of the places that you can find them. You can catch an Abra up on Route 23 and 24. Oh, I'm sorry, 24 and 25. 23 is over out by Victory Road. 24 and 25, just grab one of those. Butterfree is better. Pikachu is better over in the Viridian Forest. I mean, Rattata's better. Gosh, guys, you are just gonna do so much better with anything else. Okay, Wild Beedrill can be found in Viridian Forest, and Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee as well. Like I've said before in a couple videos, but I know people have a lot going on and they might miss things. Megas, Gigantamax, regional variants, whatever other forms you can think of, they're all going to be covered in different videos where we talk about alternate forms of these Pokemon. We're going to mog the alternate forms on their own video. I think they deserve it. And Beedrill might get a little glazing there too. So, unlike Butterfree here, Beedrill is only getting a 50%, a 10 out of 20. But, that's honestly the best it could ask for. This Pokemon's going to get mogged by just about everything else in Gen 1. Um, it's just not good. And while the creepy bug vibe is definitely something that doesn't come to Pokemon very easily, a lot of bugs end up looking goofy or silly or friendly or something. Just about any creepy bug you can think of is better than Beedrill. So if you really want a creepy bug, just grab one of them instead, okay? Uh, as I say here, and I do mean it because Beedrill gets a lot of love. I hope Beedrill gets a regional form at some point or a boost to its stats. The word buff and boost became one word to me there. Sorry, folks. And just kind of gets a little bit of love. It needs it. That's going to be it for the Weedle line. Thanks, y'all, again, for all your time. Like and subscribe if you wouldn't mind. Leave a comment down below if you'd like to talk about our buggy boy here. Please let your family know that you love them. Try to do your best to stay safe in all the crazy world that we've got going on right now, all the wild, insane stuff that's happening. And I'm going to catch y'all in the next one.